Good Monday morning. We start today with a look back at the monumental life of Abraham Foxman, the former ADL national director and longtime Jewish leader, whose passing has left a void in the community. We examine the tributes pouring in from around the globe mourning the loss of this Holocaust survivor and giant of Jewish philanthropy, and we explore the deep impact of his legacy on the fight against antisemitism.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to hold it with one hand? The PopSockets Pop Grip gives you a secure grip, works as a phone stand, and even lets you swap the top for a fresh new look. Simple, useful, and perfect for everyday phone use. Click the link in the comments to grab yours on Amazon.
Next up, we dive into the high-stakes political landscape as Mathias Döpfner, CEO of Axel Springer, addressed the World Jewish Congress in Geneva, making powerful calls for Jewish immigration to Europe. Hear the details of his demands for zero tolerance and his controversial vision for the future of Jewish life across the continent. We also cover significant shifts in Jewish education and community structures as Hebrew Union College's Cincinnati campus prepares to close its residential rabbinical program, marking the end of an era. We look at the poignant moments surrounding the final rabbinic ordination and the heavy feeling this transition brings to the community. Finally, we look at the enduring resilience of history as Trinity Church soars as the soul of Lower Manhattan, reflecting on its centuries of service and its role as a witness through moments of crisis. Don't miss the full stories and analysis in this edition of your Daily Fill. The Jewish community is grappling with significant events and ongoing issues, highlighted by the recent passing of Abraham Foxman, a former ADL national director and influential Jewish leader, who is being mourned globally. Concurrent with this loss, the World Jewish Congress convened its governing board meeting in Geneva, marking its 90th anniversary and focusing on coordinating the communal response to rising antisemitism worldwide. In a strong statement to the World Jewish Congress, Axel Springer CEO Mathias Döpfner called for zero tolerance to antisemitism, advocating for the expulsion of those who espouse it where legally possible, and urged social media companies to take firm action. Döpfner also called for increased Jewish immigration to Europe, arguing it would be a strategic investment in social stability and creativity. He expressed skepticism toward governmental efforts to combat antisemitism in Europe, suggesting that past responses have been insufficient. In London, a large rally took place against antisemitism, drawing an estimated 10,000 people. While major Jewish newspapers called for unity, reports indicated some internal factionalism within the crowd. Jewish leaders emphasized the need for a national responsibility to protect and prosecute antisemitism. In educational and institutional spheres, the Jewish world is observing shifts. The final rabbinic ordination at Hebrew Union College's 150-year-old Cincinnati campus has concluded, marking the shuttering of the residential rabbinical program amid financial challenges. Philanthropic strategies are also under review. Rebecca Dinar recommended a recalibration of Jewish giving, stressing the need to move beyond visible institutional support toward targeted, long-term investments in developing new fields of study and research. Similarly, the Chronicle of Philanthropy explores how nonprofits can engage younger donors by offering tangible volunteer opportunities to build trust. Meanwhile, political and international developments continue. Jewish California's annual Capital Summit kicked off in Sacramento, featuring figures like former Second Gentleman Doug M. Hoff and Los Angeles District Attorney Nathan Hochman. In Israel, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reiterated his call to end direct U.S. financial aid for Israel over the next decade. Furthermore, discussions around the conflict in Gaza involve varied perspectives, including advocacy for empowering moderate Palestinian partners. Reflections on leadership are also prominent. William Daroff eulogized Abraham Foxman as a vital architect of post-war American Jewish public life, emphasizing that hatred adapts and survives when the danger is underestimated. Rabbi Jeffrey Salkin drew inspiration from historical Jewish activism to underscore the importance of community mobilization. Mark Wilf, owner of the Minnesota Vikings and board chair of the Jewish Agency, visited the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum, stressing the importance of youth learning about history to foster tolerance and action. Justice Minister Naomi Long has responded to calls from domestic violence survivor Juanita Macria for tougher sentencing for perpetrators and stricter bail conditions. Ms. Macria highlighted the devastating impact of domestic abuse, stating that the sentence imposed on her abuser, Keith Henry, was insufficient, and that victims often live in fear. Henry was recently sentenced to 12 months in prison for crimes including assault and non-fatal strangulation after abandoning an appeal. In addressing the calls for tougher sentences, Minister Long acknowledged the strength of the feelings expressed by survivors, but clarified that sentencing remains the responsibility of the independent judiciary, which considers all case circumstances and guidelines. She similarly stated that bail conditions are court matters, with operational decisions made independently by police and prosecutors. However, Minister Long detailed several measures her department has implemented to strengthen victim protections. These include the Domestic Abuse and Civil Proceedings Act 2021, which introduced a specific offense for coercive and controlling behavior with tougher penalties, especially where children are involved. Regarding concerns about the lengthy court process causing stress, Long confirmed the department is working with criminal justice partners to reduce trauma. Measures already in place include establishing remote evidence centers for trauma-informed testimony, specialist advocacy services like Assist NI for high-risk victims, and ongoing work through the domestic and sexual abuse strategy. Furthermore, Long announced that the Northern Ireland's Criminal Justice Board has launched a long-term cross-justice program focused on reducing legal delays through digital improvements, committal reform, early engagement, and increased use of out-of-court disposals. This initiative, involving senior figures across policing, prosecution, and the courts, aims to streamline the system, though it is expected to take several years to fully realize its impact. In an intriguing look at the dynamics of Survivor 50, a contestant turned to tarot cards to predict the outcome of the competition, offering insights into the potential paths of the castaways. The analysis focused on several key players, revealing potential for success, resilience, and shifting alliances. For Aubrey Bracco, the Nine of Pentacles was drawn, symbolizing independent success and affluence, suggesting a strong possibility of achieving the $2 million prize through hard work and patience. Given her extensive experience on the show, the card was seen as a strong indicator for a soul survivor. Siri Fields received the Five of Pentacles, a card signifying overcoming devastating loss and finding hope after hardship. This was interpreted as a chance for her to demonstrate strength and secure a well-rounded game, especially following past eliminations. Joe was associated with the Eight of Pentacles, the hard worker card, highlighting his dedication and loyalty. This suggested a potential reward stemming from personal achievement and the recognition of a job well done, despite recent challenges with alliances. Jonathan drew the Ace of Cups, interpreted as a sign of cleansing through emotional healing and new beginnings. This card suggested a second chance for him to win the audience's heart, though the focus was less on the monetary prize. Devens was highlighted with the Two of Cups, the soulmates card. This pointed toward a potential outcome focused not on winning the cash, but on forging a profound, lasting friendship with a mirrored player, specifically Christian. Rizzo was given the Ace of Swords, signifying a surge of mental energy and the ability to craft a brilliant, strategic plan. This suggested a shift in his approach, potentially leading to new communication channels and strategic maneuvers. Tiffany received the Knight of Swords, representing ambition and relentless pursuit. This card underscored her ability to prove herself after past setbacks, suggesting she could succeed by maintaining a logical, ambitious approach to gameplay and potentially targeting key threats like Siri Fields. Trinity Church in Lower Manhattan stands as a centuries-old spiritual anchor and a profound witness to American history. For over 300 years, the historic Gothic revival structure, completed in 1846, has served its community with the mission to meet people where they are, foster faith, build community, and serve neighbors. The church's history is marked by remarkable resilience. Following the destruction of the original church in the Great Fire of 1776, Trinity became the third church built on the site. The survival of nearby St. Paul's Chapel, aided by a bucket brigade from the Hudson River, underscores the congregation's enduring spirit, a testament to which Trinity still preserves an original firefighting bucket in its archives. The church grounds are also significant as the location of Alexander Hamilton's grave, a site whose prominence has recently surged due to the success of Lin-Manuel Miranda's Broadway musical, Hamilton. Hamilton's connection to Trinity dates back to his time studying at King's College, where he interacted with clergy who served as chaplains, and later as a member of the congregation, with several of his children being baptized there. Furthermore, Trinity shares deep historical ties with George Washington. After Washington's inauguration, he and government officials walked to St. Paul's Chapel for a prayer service led by Trinity clergy, a tradition Washington continued during his time as the nation's capital. The church's role in times of crisis has been particularly poignant. In the aftermath of the September 11 attacks, as Lower Manhattan was devastated, Trinity Church reopened rapidly to offer a sanctuary of prayer and reflection. Simultaneously, St. Paul's Chapel transformed into a 24-hour sanctuary for first responders and recovery workers, supported by volunteers who provided essential aid. Church leadership emphasizes that this commitment to caring for people in times of crisis remains central to Trinity's identity, mirroring the resilience of both the city and the nation as it approaches its 250th anniversary.